And we're so excited to see our community out there, the frontliners, those who are making a difference every day, one person at a time. You are working with those youth, those little crumb snatchers, and you're doing a great job. If nobody has told you you're doing a great job, you're doing a great job. I am here today with none other than one of my best friends in the whole world. She's a genius with neuro. Y'all give it up for Miss Joy Winchester.
Hey everybody, I'm glad to be with the people who walk the walk and talk the talk, because I get so tired of hearing the talk and they walk these halls to know what we're going through. So glad y'all are all here.
And walk to walk and talk to, you got a whole song going on. Hey.
It's those 80s movies. When they had to,
Hey, you remember that, Joy? You remember that?
No, I can't. You don't have no rhythm. None.
All right, we want everybody to like, subscribe, and do all the things. Ring the bell. Check us out, man, and leave some comments or whatever. Make sure they're positive, because you don't want Joy to come to your house. We know where you live. Joy, I'm excited about today's topic. Today's topic is you're asking the wrong questions about bullying. Bullying is deep, man, but this is my question to you, Joy. What's going on with the kids today? What happened to the teachings of the old time way, as my grandmother would say? Bullying is something else, man. Now, we always teach that in the process of the bullying process, there are three individuals who are present. There is the person being bullied, there is the bully, and then there's that third person, the bystander. Now, that's the one that many people would argue has the most power, because they fuel what the bully really wants and desires, and that's to get that feedback. That's to get that, as Joy would say, dopamine hit. So what do we do about bullying?
Humans are messy, and it would be so easy to say, it's just this, let's fix this. But it's not. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you got some kids who bully for that status, for that social status. They're going to pick on others so they get the laughs and everything from the crew around them, or they get the people who are like, oh, right. And you got some who bully because they're looking for the biggest threat. They're coming from a survival brain, and they are trying to establish dominance. You've got some who bully because it's a model they've learned at home or from the streets, right? And I think it's funny. I told you this, that I'm doing classes now with recent men who have been released from prison. Not recent men. Wow. Edit that. They aren't recent men. They've been men their whole life. I've recently been doing classes on the neuroscience of stress with men who have just been released from incarceration. And one of the men made a statement. He said that he knew right from wrong. It's right from wrong. He said, my mama raised me right. I know right from wrong. He said, but I didn't have a father growing up. So to get that fatherly approval, he had to get it from the streets. And so that approval comes with doing what's wrong sometimes. And that could be bullying, even though you don't agree with it. But what you want more, right, is to belong. You want that fatherly person to be like, dude, you're a tough man. You showed up. And that is where a lot of these kids have learned a theory or a way of being that the tough are the biggest. The loudest win, the strongest are the best. And you and I both know calm is a superpower. You know, the louder and the bigger and the crazier you are, the more I know that you're pretty dysregulated and you're pretty unstable. I sometimes when I am working with inmates, the very quiet, calm ones who are taking it all in, they're the ones that I kind of watch double, because they're the ones who will handle business if business arises. they don't got much to prove. And sometimes the big loud ones, and this is true with students. Anthony, I know you've seen this. The
Mhm.
kids who come in like, you can't tell me nothing. You ain't got nothing on me. Who you think you are?
Yeah.
You're old. You don't know. I don't get told you're old, but I know you do. But those sort of things, they're just barking. They're just a
Yeah, they are. They
big
are.
barking dog.
Yeah,
But
it's hurting. That's what you're hearing. You're hearing the pain. You're literally hearing it. When I first started working with the concept of bullying, and it became more prevalent year after year after year, it seemed like it was a big thing. And they use the word power over and over again. Well, they're just trying to have power over someone and take their power. And I
right.
get what they were trying to say, but I ventured toward away from the word power to bullying is not as much about power as it is about pain.
Yeah.
And what we try to do is create those environments and those atmospheres where youth can feel seen, and then they have those, that was it Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when they have their needs met, when they feel heard, when they feel valued, when they feel appreciated, even when they feel those things, then you remove the fuel that the bully has, or that the bully feeds on. And you said this not too long ago, Joy. You said that that's a form of prevention. Prevention is connection, is
Oh,
what I
yeah.
heard you say.
And it's interesting, and this is a fascinating story. And they actually were examining bullying, if that's what you want to call it, in mammals. Because it happens, right? I mean, pack animals have a hierarchy, right? And at the end of the day, sorry, I'm big on science. We have a pack animal brain. I mean, we do. We have a very beautiful prefrontal cortex, but we also live in a pack. We live in tribes, we live in units. So there is a hierarchy. Well, what's fascinating is they took a group of monkeys, and they had an established hierarchy, and they injected the lower tier male monkeys with testosterone. And the wonder was, if they injected the testosterone, would the lower tier monkeys attack the higher tier monkeys? Do you know what happened? They didn't.
Mm,
They became more ferocious to lower tier monkeys.
mm,
They did not move up the tier. I have a lot of kids who bully special ed kids,
mhm,
nonverbal kids,
mhm,
disabled kids. You don't see them going after the football quarterback.
mhm,
You don't see them going after Mr. Popularity,
mhm,
right? You see them going after weaker targets.
mhm,
And that starts your brain wondering, you know, where are, what is the reason? Right? What is the reason? Is it that it is like you said, is it a belonging piece? Is it I just don't like people and I'm going to establish dominance here? Or I'm testing out the threat level because I've been kind of in the lower tiers and I've been bullied by higher tiers. That happens a lot, especially for our little guys who get big over the summer and come back. I think we've seen middle school. Middle school can flip tiers pretty quick. Middle
yeah,
school and high school, there's a lot of growth that happens with our boys. But let's be honest, boys bully more physical. Girls will bully to the point of abuse verbally. Now, we also know girls can get physical.
yeah,
I always joke and say, give me two 18-year-old, 6.5 foot tall boys yelling and fighting in front of me instead of two 12-year-old, 100-pound girls. Because, the 18-year-old boys, they going to be done. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be some blood, but they going to be done. Those girls are still going to be having that beef 4 years later.
yeah,
And you're never going to know what's going to come up. And they're going to have entire groups of girls doing it with them. And you know why? This is pretty cool. Women are amazing creatures. I am one. Of course, we all know. Have this, we have fight, flight, fawn, freeze, right? We know those. Women have one that men don't usually have, or they don't have it as strong, and it's called tend and befriend. And this is why when a woman feels threatened, she picks up the phone and she calls as many friends as she can to tell her side of the story and to get them on her side. This is why social media is so important to a woman. Think about how many women will post. You will not believe what happened to me today at Target. I was walking in and someone took my parking space. And they did. And what is all their friends going to say? Oh, Becky, we ride at dawn. If I was there, we would have da. I mean, you're like, really, Becky? Really, Deborah? You gonna ride at dawn? Really? Because of a parking place at Target. Hey, you got a minute? Because that's all the average American has is 1 minute. Our attention spans are so short that we really don't have time to focus on anything else. But here's what's crazy. We know more about how our cell phones work than our brains work. But who has time to dive deep into neuroscience? You do. 1 minute a day. Dive in. Just, hey, you got a minute. Neuro Minutes to Microdose Neuroscience. Grab a copy. Change your life 1 minute a day.
And go and get the book. It's awesome. The old saying is hurt people hurt people. We know that. But we also understand that healed people heal and help people. And that's what we try to do here, Joy. So what we want to do is give people those things that they could use and utilize that can assist and help when they see bullying is out there. What's something that you would think is something that we should leave with them about bullying?
I think you have shown me that leadership roles, 100%. Giving these kids responsibility so they find their purpose in the community so they don't have to make up their own.
Yeah.
Structured competition, having kids understand that you can be competitive, you can be the best, but you've got to play by a set of rules, right? And that's where sports can really help a lot of these kids who don't feel like they belong and they finally get to belong. I think peer mentoring is another one that can really help, where you link up students together, especially a student who has, like you said, come from that world and has seen the light. They can really help some of these kids see the light.
Absolutely.
But I think that, it's really hard to remove the social reward.
Yeah.
We know bullying runs on dopamine in an audience, like you said. So we know it's really hard to remove that social reward, especially with social media. In the past, Anthony, when you and I were kids, back when the dinosaurs walked, there would be bullying, but then there weren't videos of it.
Right. Exactly.
Now you think about it, there would be some bullying happening and maybe 20 people would know. Now there's a video of it.
Yeah. Goes
And
viral.
20,000 people know before lunch. So if you're the target in that video, you automatically feel like the whole world is against you. And
Absolutely.
suddenly bullying takes on a much heavier. And here's the other thing. When I went home at night from school, I could get away from it. These kids can't get away from it. You're going to have people making comments on the video, commenting to them, you're a punk, you're a loser. If that was me, I would have. I love people who always would have. What would you have done? Because you don't know. You don't know.
Right, right. Well, Joy, another thing is, the old saying that bullying shrinks when identity grows. When a young person knows who they are, when they've been given that time and given that emotional stamina, when they've been embodied that by their parents or mentors or teachers or someone that they saw act out in that certain way, then they saw that it exists. Rather than a kid who may only see chaos all the time, and that's the way that they think is normal. So I feel that when a kid is given their identity, their true identity, and it's okay for them, and they're established in that, and they're confirmed in that, then I think that helps them not have to worry about becoming some type of bully when it comes to that. Also, I think that parents and mentors should educate themselves on the different types of bullying. My goodness, it's not just physical bullying anymore. It's verbal, it's social bullying. We got cyberbullying, we got psychological bullying. Do you realize adults have bullying? They have biased bullying. Even on the job, there's bullying. So it's everywhere. I think that it'll be a good thing to educate yourself on the various types of bullying today. It's not just meeting at 3 o'clock like it was in the 80s. I'll
Right.
meet you at 3 o'clock and we're going to fight about it. It's not that type of thing. I'm just going to steal your lunch money. It's not that type of deal anymore. Not
No.
just that type of deal anymore. So many other various types. So when we think about bullying, we can't just think about one. When we think about a bully, we used to see one person. It's a big kid. He's just mean. Now, bullying, like you said, could be a 98-pound girl sitting at the house on a computer that knows how to use her words very well, and words can hurt.
Yeah. And I think the other thing, we keep talking about the bully, but if my kids are all grown, and if I was raising children today, armor them up or prepare them for when bullying happens, that if it does happen to them, and as you know, my son was bullied horrendously in high school. He received anonymous Snapchats telling him to go kill himself. He was a monster. He had 3 friends die by suicide at the hands of the same bullying.
Mm.
How do you armor them up? Statistically, my son should not be here with that many friends, who died by suicide. Just because statistically, if you have a friend die by suicide and you're undergoing the same type of bullying, you know, and we would go to the school, and the school's like, we can't do anything. A, it's technical technology, and B, it's happening outside of campus. And guess what? They couldn't do anything about it. They were like, so sorry, they were not cold about it, but there's nothing they could do legally.
Right.
And so, how do you as a family armor your kid up so that every day you send them to an environment that's going to tear them down? And they wake up that next morning, and they have to have the resilience, the grit to walk back into that environment where the officials don't care, the teachers don't care. That's what it feels like, because they can't do anything. And, you're just trying to get through the day. And I'm still impressed that my son graduated with a high school diploma, because I'm going to tell you, there were days where he begged not to go to school, and it was non-stop. So you armor them up. And our home became, when you're here, we are reminding you of everything strength you have, right?
Yes, yes.
Armor them up. And because look, I'm 50. I literally got bullied 2 years ago. And I was one of those believers. And I want to get a shirt. I do. I want to get a shirt that say Goonies never die. Because I was raised in the 80s, and like a dummy, I thought the good always win because Goonies never die. But you know what I learned 2 years ago? Goonies do die. The bully does win. And the best revenge is a well-lived life.
Mm.
Those kids that bullied my son, I hope they're living the best life ever. My son sure is. He's doing great. He's about
But
to buy his own house.
you know what, Joy? You know what your son did have? He had a mother, caring parents that were
Yeah.
able to notice what the issue was and make sure that they could do all that they can do, because all you can do is all you can do to build
Hmm.
him up, his
Yep.
self-esteem, his self-image, letting him know you are somebody, you are okay. We affirm you. We love you. We all those things that a child needs. You were able
Yep.
to give him those needs. And
He had yep. And I think that's true. It's not only the parents, he had a grandfather and a
yes,
grandmother's. He had
yeah.
grandparents. But my dad taught him carpentry.
Mm.
And so he would build, and my husband and him shot competitively together, right? So he had all these hobbies that had a life outside of school,
Yes.
and that built him up. So school was just this dark chapter.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. If the bullies become your whole life, so we were competing, we were traveling with a shooting competition, which is was pretty cool for a teen boy, right?
Mhm.
And then he got a job
Yeah.
early. He was working, and that gave him another outlet. That's the piece. If you're like you said when identity increases, the bully shrinks.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think for the victim, the target, when identity increases also, the
Hmm.
bully shrinks. Because if you're only tied to that bully's world, then they can destroy you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Joy, we've come to the end of another show.
Okay.
Just we need to let our people know something. We need to let them know, hey, you need to be kind.
Stay curious.
And keep showing up.
I wrote a book. Go check it out. Now, the book is called How to Eat an Elephant. And the old adage, of course, is one bite at a time. It's a book about young people and how to work with youth of today. But it's more about you, the adult, the person that cares for the young person, the advocate, the person that works with young people all the time. I want you to check it out.
Finally, a book written by someone who's walked the walk and not only talks the talk. Real talk. Deuces.